Hello, Rose Davidson here, and welcome to the podcast. This episode originally aired as a video on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/doesbiz, Mums in Business with Rose Davidson. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thanks for having us, Rose.
Welcome to my series of interviews for busy mums, for Mums in Business. I'd like to introduce to you Courts Lippett and Kirsty. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Yeah. Smart Chicks. Smart Chicks is a global community for women in business who want real connections that are inspiring and authentic. And their passion lies in helping other women to magnetically attract a tribe, understanding exactly what the tribe wants and then helping them to deliver this message to their tribe. Smart Chicks was created when they were struggling to find networking opportunities for women in business that enabled quality relationships and genuine word-of-mouth referrals. There is a powerful ripple effect when you live a purposeful and inspired life and surrounded by others on the same mission as yourself. Smart Chicks is a global movement where everything is possible. Welcome again, ladies. And how did you both meet?
We met on the internet. We were just saying before, it's kind of like Tinder for business. We met in a Facebook group and Kirsty reached out to me and we decided to have a coffee. We were chatting a lot about property development back then. That's still a passion of ours. We're really into the whole passive income or multiple income streams or residual income, like any way that you can kind of get out of the box.
Yeah,
multiple streams happening.
I think when you've got multiple, you don't have as much pressure on any of them.
Yeah.
And if one is, reduces, because as an entrepreneur, it can be a little bit like this. So if you've got multiple things, then there's less pressure in any one area.
So anyway, we went for coffee and the rest is history.
Yeah. Right. So what did you both do before Smart Chicks?
Well, how much time do we have?
Yes.
Kirsty, you go first.
Okay. I studied science, so I actually have a science background, chemistry and maths, but I initially worked in the back end of science, like in labs and what have you, before I moved slowly over to the front end, working much more with customers and clients and liaising and managing staff. I'm much more a people-orientated person rather than a test tube and analysis sort of girl. It's a bit dry for me. Surprise, surprise. But I lived overseas for a few years and from 1999 to 2002. And then when we moved back to Australia was when I had my first child. Having moved back from overseas, I wasn't on maternity leave. So I wasn't kind of in a holding pattern to go back to a particular job. So that's probably where my official entrepreneurial journey began, because I bought a business when my second child was about 9 months old. It was a small franchise, and I built that up and then sold it off about three and a half years later. And then I've always had different projects or businesses ever since then. So I've always been really attracted to finding ways that I can financially contribute to the family while still being available for the family. Being an entrepreneur doesn't always mean that happens as much as you would like, but it does mean I have choice about how and where I spend my time. So, yeah.
That was good copy. We should get the recording of this.
Yeah.
Seriously. Okay, so I originally, back to uni days, trained as a paediatric occupational therapist. So I worked in not-for-profits for about 10 years. I'm good at being an OT and I enjoy it, but I also love working with women in business as well. And I also liked the idea of, again, what Kirsty just said, like actually being available for my family and not being employed. So how can you kind of juggle both so that it's a sustainable income stream, but also being there kind of for school drop-off, pick-up, doctor's appointments, swimming tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess my journey into the entrepreneurial space started when my husband stopped working. He had a workplace injury when I was pregnant with our first child about 6.5 years ago, or 7 years ago now. And he's just returned to work actually a few months ago, which is really exciting. And in that time, it really gave me a kick up the bum. I like to call it a truck to the face from the universe. Like it was just like, right, you're supposed to be doing this, stop being employed, and like we're going to actually force you to go and think about other alternatives. So the first kind of step for me out of the OT sphere was to actually start a property renovation company. So I was flipping units, like buying units, flipping them, and doing 6-week renos on them for a little while. And it really didn't light me up. Like that was kind of the equivalent of you being in the test tubes. Like, yeah. I like people. I was like really friendly with the tradies. I'd be like, hey guys.
You got great results out of it. This is the epitome of authentic connections, right? So when you're working with the tradies, you want good results. So if I build a relationship with them, they will like me more. So she knew the coffees back to front,
yeah, flat white,
and got them exactly what, and guys are simple creatures, really. Like, they don't take a lot to actually.
They were actually like, can you get out of here? Like, we've got a 6-week reno that's really like fine. I've got one day to get the work done. Go away. But I was like, okay, coffee. If you need anything, here's my number. So that was interesting with a very young family. Like, my son was just born and my daughter was 18 months old back then. So did that, and then fast forward, met Kirsty, and then we just started running networking groups for women in business. We were running them on behalf of someone else there for a little while, and we kind of thought, well, after Kirsty mentioned the fact that she just wanted to hang out with some smart chicks, one day,
awesome name.
Ding! We should, like, I don't know, buy the business name of that.
Yeah.
So basically, we kind of started just hanging out locally here in Adelaide, and then what we found was all these people were just wanting to sort of, oh, can I watch the event? Do you have a virtual membership? Oh, can I run an event? Is there like the possibility to kind of partner with you guys and duplicate what you're doing in Adelaide up in Brisbane or in Western Australia or Sydney? So it kind of has just organically evolved, and it's really only in the last, we were just talking about this morning, it's really only in the last 9 months. Ooh.
Birth. Ooh.
We've just birthed the way that Smart Chicks is just going to be. Recently, actually, we feel like we've really been
on a journey, really.
Yeah, that's true. And moving into next year when my son's at school, we're going to have a lot more time, actually, to be able to both be available 5 days a week, like 5 school days a week, to be able to actually really become the CEOs of our business, as opposed to fitting it in the cracks of motherhood.
Yeah.
Okay, so Smart Chicks, it's, for smart women in business, basically, I guess. So how does Smart Chicks group help other women in business? What can you do for them?
We do a lot, right? So the first area, I guess, that people find us is through social media or our website, and we've got a community that's free online. It's called the Smart Chicks Coterie. At the moment, there's around 2,300 women in business who hang out in that particular group. And the whole purpose of that group is to just provide the beginning of understanding what the Smart Chicks culture is. We attract different people. So there'll be people that are looking for support, people that are looking for inspiration, people that are looking for to become an influencer in their field. And what we want is to basically create an area in that free community where they can learn the way that the culture works in terms of, we believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. I thought I said that wrong then. No, that's right. That's right. Rising tide lifts all boats. We want to show people that if you are the happiest, friendliest version of yourself in business, then you become a magnet for the people that want to hang out with you. So that's kind of the free area. And then we've got a couple of other courses and memberships that we run. So should we talk about the membership? Because that's exciting at the moment.
Yeah, the membership. Yeah, the membership has been a real sort of evolution, as Court's mentioned before. I think one thing that a lot of people miss in business is understanding how to really hone in on what your messaging is and really attract the sort of people to you that you want to work with or alongside or align or collaborate with, etc. And then make sure that you really understand what they need and then deliver what they need to them. And so organically having grown what we've done has been pivotal in us making sure that every step of the way and everything we've done has been what they have told us they've wanted. It's so easy to spend hours locking yourself away, writing a book or writing a course, but not really knowing that it's something people are looking for and then having, trouble getting it off the ground. So the membership was first born, April, May last year, actually just before we headed overseas for a short business trip. And that started based on, we're running these monthly events. People are paying to come casually once a month. We want to get a website together. Let's see whether people are open to being a yearly member and, paying for that. And then that will give us some money. So we were really focused on not overspending within our business, really spending to the money that we were able to create, but creating money based on what people needed.
Yeah.
And people jumped on board straight away with that. So, from there, it just continued to grow, and it went from, local members to, as Court said, people that became members because they wanted to listen to the workshop, but they weren't local. So we started live streaming it into a paid members group, which is where, the paid membership group began. And all that was really used for in the beginning was a hub for the live recordings of the workshops, because at that point, we didn't have a big membership site to be able to put it all in. We didn't have the finances to invest a lot into that. So we've invested and listened and offered and further invested and listened. And business is a journey, and it does take time to get, neither of us are now new kids on the block. I mean, we've sort of been in different areas, doing different things, doing different learnings, but when you start a new business, that one's still starting from scratch, just with a lot of the knowledge and information you've got from before. So the membership now is it's really exciting because we relaunched it July this year. We went away for a large conference and learnt some other things that had us go, okay, let's
simplify it.
Yeah, we've got to simplify it. Less is more. If you give people too much stuff, they'll do nothing. So give them less so they'll do a lot more and get a lot more benefit out of it.
Yeah, so the way that the membership is really helping people now is it's helping people to build their consistency in their business. We're giving people confidence strategies, connection strategies, and also we've got a weekly celebration, and then they have a monthly workshop that helps them along in one of those key pillars or fundamental key areas of the business, of their business at the time that it is. And really the purpose of this membership is to meet the needs of the wider community, which has been like in all of our research, because we research our community like
regularly.
Weekly. Yeah. And in all of our research, everyone comes back to us as, I'm feeling like I'm not confident, and the confidence comes down to not knowing how to show up consistently, not understanding how to connect authentically and collaborate with other people, not understanding the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people and therefore celebrating the wins in your business. And if you can have small wins every single week in your business, that basically accumulates to a lot of big wins in the long run. So the purpose of this membership is to really just hone in on helping people in the earlier stages of their business, or for people that are looking for like-minded people to hang out with, because they might be feeling like an isolated entrepreneur. We're lucky, there's 2 of us, but there's a lot of people in our community that work by themselves. We always joke about the fact that if you're like, if you're the average of no one, because you hang out with yourself, then that's not going to be so great. And then what we've actually also just finished yesterday was the first round of our Attractive Tribe Influencer program. So that will be launching again early next year. But basically the whole purpose of that is to attract your tribe, find out what they want, and then deliver a service or offering to them that they've told you that they want.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand the benefit, I guess, of connecting with influencers to be able to actually add value to the influencers' communities. And in exchange, you will attract the people that resonate with the value that you're adding. So we teach people how to run awesome interview series, online business conferences, business summits, whatever they want to hone in on. And then we actually give them a step-by-step guide to basically roll that out and then understand how to survey their audience and then make sure that they're actually delivering a service that the audience wants.
That is absolutely awesome, ladies. I know I'm a member of the paid membership group, and I've got some valuable information out of all of that stuff. And thank you for sharing all that information. That's great. So how do the ladies find you?
We've got a few different kind of zones where people can find us. We hang out in our Facebook group, Smart Chicks Coterie. That's a good one to come in. We've got a couple of questions for people when they come in, just so that they can know whether or not we're a good fit for them, and then we'll approve them. We've got a website, so if people just want to say hello, we've got a hello part of our website, smartchicks.com.au, where people can basically just drop us a bell. We're pretty responsive to emails. In the school holidays, not so much. We kind of just realised in the school holidays that there was about 5 people trying to get in touch with us, and we're like, sorry. We're really like hashtag sorry, but not sorry. We should have just changed our autoresponder.
Yeah, that's what we realised. Another learning.
Annual leave or whatever. So that's a good way.
So smartchicks.com.au is the website. Yeah, obviously Smart Chicks on the Facebook page.
Sure. And now that the group is global, what are your plans for the future?
Oh, big plans. You know, we know that having an online community and having an online kind of teaching capability means that we can be open to everyone. We would love to be able to reach out even for, I looked at the insights just recently on the group, and I know that there's, you know, close to 100 people from the States. There's 30 or 40 from the UK and through Europe and what have you. There's quite a few in New Zealand. So, you know, we are already global, but to get our messaging, you know, deeper and further afield so that we can help more women to get their message out there. It really, I feel like it's said everywhere nowadays, but it really is about shining their light and learning the fact that they can love what they do and earn money doing it, and, you know, they can have it all, have that abundance sort of mindset that allows them to give but be paid for giving, you know, what they love to do. I mean, you know, there's so many people that are stuck doing things they don't want to do, they don't love doing, and I don't know, you either live your life regretting the things you didn't do, or you take the plunge to, you know, do what you do want to do and make it work. And I'm not saying, obviously, we need people in all different sorts of jobs, and in many situations financially they need to be in a job and have it as a side sort of gig until it can start to, you know, be earning some consistent money, and then maybe they can, you know, stop working. But for a lot of mums, they go back 1, 2, 3 days a week because that's, you know, the minimum they need to sort of bring in to just make up the difference that they financially need as a household. So some of them don't need to get to a high level to still be able to then say, right, now I'm going to get that time back and, you know, really be able to step up into my business even more. So
I'll tell you what's exciting as well. So we were running business workshops around Australia for about a year. That was part of a pilot program for the membership, and that kind of got conglomerated into online workshops and the mini mastermind with the 4 different components of the membership. But we're constantly approached by people that would like to run Tribe and Vibe business catch-ups around Australia, and we have been asked by a couple of people overseas as well. So that's kind of the next step in the immediate future, just to roll a few more of those out. And
get more belly-to-belly connections, because online is awesome and it allows your tentacles to reach far further than they could without it. But everybody still locally needs to have a local community as well. Yeah. So we do love making sure that people get face-to-face.
And we've got a business plan that's been mapped out. So we're closing the doors to the membership on the 31st of October this year, so that we've got a 3-month period to really map out the next launch early next year. And as part of that launch, we're actually going to be moving into 1-day workshops as well that lead into the Attract Your Tribe influencer program for those of the people that decide that they want that extra support. And really where we see that heading as well is actually going and doing workshops over in the US, particularly. The US market, we're both really attracted to the US. We go there quite a lot between us, and we have quite a lot of rapport that people with business owners and business women that are already over there. So I can see us kind of starting virtual, but also having face-to-face, belly-to-belly activities over there as well in the next sort of 12 months or so.
Wow, how exciting. Hey, does Smart Chicks have any special offers for its members at the moment, or anyone who's thinking about joining?
We've got a webinar on Friday, October the 20th.
I know, I'm excited.
Yeah. So that's at 10 o'clock on Adelaide time on the 20th of October via Zoom. So we can give you the link for that, just to pop below or above wherever this is on Facebook. And basically the webinar itself is going to be really fun, right? Like, it's going to be short and snappy, but we're going to give you like a gazillion tips and tricks for authentic connections and collaborations that you might not have thought of before.
Yeah.
And the purpose of coming along to that is so that you can start really becoming confident in the methods that you're using to go out and actually connect with influencers or people in your local area or online, so that when you are ready to attract your tribe and be a magnet, you're confident in doing so. The other thing that we've got happening for that particular webinar is for those of you who actually register for the webinar, even if you can't attend on Friday morning, just watch it in about 24 hours afterwards, 24 to 48 hours. We might even give them the weekend, because we've got a special surprise for the guys who actually do watch that webinar. And there'll be one person that wins a VIP session with us. It's a 3-hour business unpack and business brainstorming buddy session, usually worth $1,100. So you have to come along to see how you can win that.
That's right.
Oh, wow. Yes, I'll put the link up here. So send me the link to that, and I'll put that up when I put the video up today. Okay, so I guess to finish up this morning, what advice would you have for a woman wants to start a business, especially if she's got family, how to get that magnetic thing happening with their tribe, and and being a busy mum, how do they find that really valuable equilibrium?
Believe that you can do it. Even if it feels hard, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it. A great way to build your confidence is to hang out with people that are like-minded. This is why we started the Smart Chicks Coterie, so that there's at least a free space initially for people to just find their feet and find the people that they gel with, because often confidence stops you from even starting. So if you can be around people that are going to lift you up and encourage you, and not think like the people at the barbecue that think that your idea is just crappy.
That's what I was going to say. I think the biggest thing for people to really realise is it's okay that not everybody is thinking like you're thinking or excited by the prospect of a business or whatever. And so make sure that the people that you're talking to about it or brainstorming with, or asking advice or help or research or whatever from, are people that support your vision anyway. Because as soon as you're talking to the wrong people, they'll very easily put out your fire. And so you need to make sure that you're hanging out with the right people. It's the fundamental part to you having the confidence, because when you're in business for yourself, you're very much selling yourself and your own abilities to be able to make a difference for somebody else. And it's always different than when people are working for a company and can stand behind the text or the script or the whatever they've been taught selling something else. And so you need to constantly work on yourself. You need to constantly do reading and personal development and
mindset.
Work through the layers of as you heal certain things, there'll be something else that comes up, and you need to hang out with smart chicks.
Find some smart chicks to hang out with. I'm going to tell you a bit of a story. Oh, hold on. Can I remember the story that I was just about to tell? Maybe I can't. Okay, it's gone. Yeah. If I remember, in the next 30 seconds I'll let you know.
But I think you just really have to be conscious of who it is you're talking to about what you want to do, and you get very good at working out the people that they say, "Oh, how's business?" You go, "Yeah, it's really great.
It's great, Mum." It's great.
How do they manage their time, especially with mums starting out that have got small children?
That's exactly what I was going to say. So guys, when I first, here we go. Honestly. So when I first started looking for business communities to hang out with, the ones that I found were the ones that were like, blah, come and join our business community, like really kind of masculine energy, throwing, lead magnets out there to get stuff. And what I found was that particular environment for me as a mum that had, at the time, I had a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. And I was thinking, how the hell do I do this? And the advice that I was getting at the time was get a nanny, join the 4 a.m. club. And I'm thinking, I'm in the friggin' 4 a.m. club when my 6-month-old needs to be fed.
Yeah.
So basically for me, that advice did not sit well. I also was not in a financial position to do that because we were on one income at the time. We were very stressed out as a family. Like, there was a lot of other kind of stuff happening there. And that's when I actually found the business community that I met Kirsty through not long after that. And it was a bunch of women and mums, as opposed to, and this is nothing against men, but men that are not home with their children, so they don't really get it.
Well,
they didn't really
we're just not massive believers in the hustle.
Yeah.
Like, we don't get us wrong. It's not that we don't believe you have to work hard and put in effort and know that it's going to take time, and you don't expect to start sitting on the beach with your laptop with only 3 hours investment a week and you're loving it. But
aligning with your purpose, it's more important than hustling, pushing shit up a hill, constantly hustling. That's not actually helping you if deep down, this is literally the test that we use. We had this conversation last week, remember, when we were making some decisions about Smart Chicks. Okay, does it feel heavy or light? Oh, it feels a bit heavy. Okay, we're not going to do that. Does it feel heavy or light? Oh, it feels light. Okay, let's do that. That's literally how we make decisions. So, and yes, there's a lot of research and there's a lot of tactics in terms of surveying and research days and finding out exactly what the people want. It's not just about like, oh, let's 100% use our intuition. But our intuition, the feeling heavy or light thing, it really does guide you. And then you put all the strategy in place once you've been guided intuitively to the place that you know you're meant to be.
Yeah. And
this is the whole hustle versus align. If you can just align instead of feeling like icky, the people who feel icky about what they're doing or they're feeling very stressed out about what they're doing, it might not necessarily be the right way to go about it. It's not necessarily the right thing. The thing might not be wrong, but the way that you're going about it might feel a bit wrong for you. It's not on purpose. So in terms of like a mum with very young kids starting a business, because you were perfect examples of, hey, I'm just going to start a franchise property company when I've got young children. The best advice, what's really shit. Some days you don't get anything done. Some days you've got to like aim to just eat and have a shower, and that's the way that it is, instead of joining the 4 a.m. club and hustling.
Okay, so how important it is to both of you to have time out for yourself. So I'm very conscious of the time and I don't want to keep you too much.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
Like a bazillion % important? Is that like an answer?
Yeah, it is. It's really, really important. And I'll have to tell you a very quick story. I remember about 18 months ago, I was doing an avatar interview for another lady in business, and by the end of it, so I was helping her out. So I was giving, answering research questions so that she could get a, better picture. And one of the last questions she asked me was, what's one of your guilty pleasures? And she said, but I have to say, not that you have to feel guilty about it, but what's a guilty pleasure? And at the time I said, I don't think I have one.
Oh,
and I literally had to stop and say to myself, oh, that's bad, man. And it really made me stop and think. And the reason for that was that I loved what I was doing so much in business. My business was my guilty pleasure, because I always felt guilty to a degree because of all the hours and time I spent doing that. Because if I had time when the kids were fine and busy and my husband was happy, I'd be like, cool, I'll be working on my business, because I love that. But it really made me stop and go, you know what, girl, you got to stop and start to bring back in.
You need to do some pole dancing.
Which is what I did. So I realized I needed to stop and step back, and I need to bring some other things back in that, are for me, and they're, reconnecting with myself, they're getting out and doing more, they're just, So.
And Kirsty used to be a professional athlete as well. So just getting back, you really reconnected with sport and activity again, haven't you?
Yeah. Because I kind of let that go a bit.
It gets let go sometimes, doesn't it?
Well, but I had been, anyway. I'm still getting better at doing more and bringing more in, but that was a big wake up to me. And I knew inherently kind of that wasn't necessarily good, but I just, so that's a big thing that I would say for anyone try not to ever lose that.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's my aim to be able to go and see a healer every single week. We went to this conference and I was watching what Amanda Daly was talking about with the fact that she sees a healer or she does something that's for mindset or whatever every single week. And I thought, wow, I do it like once a month, maybe like once a fortnight if I can. But to be able to go and do that every single week, like I just went and saw an NET healer this morning, and another belief system has been knocked out. I went and saw a hypnotherapist yesterday. Another belief system has been knocked out.
We're constantly a work in progress, like, you know.
Yeah, it's like peeling the onion.
We don't always have our stuff together.
There's like belief systems from year 2 with having a peanut butter and Vegemite sandwich and people thinking that I was weird and I can't have both. And that has kind of turned into, you can't be a mother and have a business that's successful. That's weird.
Yeah.
Only weirdos do that. So there's always, anyway, the point is mindset, really healing, and time to yourself. And there are people that go, but I can't have time to myself because I've got children. You can. I'll tell you what I do.
You must, otherwise your children won't get the best of you.
I actually go and sit in my car. I put a movie on, and then I literally go and sit in the car and I listen to music, and or I do a meditation for like 8 minutes, and I turn the air conditioner on. And sometimes I see the kids crying at the window, and I'm like, you know what? 8 minutes is not going to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
My kids are a bit older. You can actually put them in front of a movie now. But yeah.
Well, ladies, thank you for that really wonderful and valuable advice. You've been such a pleasure today. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will talk to you on Friday at the webinar.
Yes,
yeah,
we look forward to it.
That. All right. Thank you. Bye. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate your time. I look forward to sharing the next episode with you very soon. Bye for now.